Alrighty, so I wanted to make a video on should you summon for the new Sabnak character, because, you know, she comes out soon on Global. We're getting the patch notes later on tonight, so stay tuned for those. I'll be going over them in their entirety, just for the Global, you know, just patch notes and everything. I want to go over them and make sure that I don't miss anything that's coming out in the patch. I have been kind of prepping a little bit for the update. I had to do some, you know, demonic beast runs and stuff to get the purple cubes for the new Camilla relic. I don't think a lot of people are really too worried about that, but other than that, I mean, like prepping stuff for Sabnak whenever she drops and everything. But if you're skipping, no need to really prep or anything like that. Just, you know, it's a festival, so I guess just grab as many free rewards as you can if you're not planning on summoning. I understand completely that there's going to be people who are just like, they don't care what my reasoning is. They're planning on summoning anyway. So if you're one of those people, I appreciate you for even clicking on the video, because your mind's probably already made up. You don't need my input, really. But either way, new Sabnak actually looking way better than I originally had anticipated. Whenever the character got shown in the developer, you know, live stream and everything, they went up against another Sabnak team. They did Gother, like a Gother setup against a Hell setup with both of the teams running Sabnak, which I thought was very odd. People in the chat were like, oh, that's a little weird. Like, I bet they're doing that to kind of show that she's, you know, like they don't want to show that she's not as good and Escanor's just still going to run over her kind of thing. But from what I've seen, she tanks very well. Her tanking and stuff like that is really, really good. I have been watching Devo, I've been watching Nagato's videos, I watched some of, you know, Sora's videos, Marili's been posting videos as well. He posted one on Demonic Beast, Ratatasker with her. I didn't figure it was going to be good. I don't think he was able to beat Floor 3 with it, so I probably wouldn't summon for her if that was going to be your reasoning for it. Most Demonic Beasts are just immune to red debuffs in general, and probably not a great idea. I mean, you know, Ratatasker's the only one that's not immune to, like, all red debuffs, but he's still immune to everything that's not, like, Shock Bleed and Poison, so not actually worth doing. Don't recommend it for that sense, but the character does seem good. A little complicated in the sense that, like, the passive and the way the skills kind of work together can be a little confusing. I actually feel like I have a decent grasp of the character. Even before the character launched, like, we were kind of, like, I was in, like, full detective mode on the stream. But I do want to go over, like, is the character pay to win? Because I have a couple of translations for this little grid thing that they've come up with, this little, whatever you want to call this thing, infographic for the ultimate and how it scales. And it is, it's a little pay to win. She's definitely one of those characters where I think you ideally want to have them at least 2/6, because part of the ultimate, if I'm not mistaken, will cleanse your or I say ultimate, of course it's tied to the ultimate, but you know how some characters have like an ultimate, like, passive thing tied into the character, but the ultimate itself will cleanse debuffs off, but it will not actually do that at 1/6, but it does it on the rest of the ult levels, which is kind of stupid. I don't know why they've, I mean, I don't know, I feel like old festival units, you used to want to get them like 4/6 or higher, or some of them, like Mael, for example, is like you kind of want to get him 5/6 or higher because his debuffs become gray debuffs. Like, I don't know, some of them are more pay to win than others, of course, but more recent fests have been like 2/6 or higher, which I think is actually not too bad. You know, obviously you want to get them 6/6 if you can, but you know, if 2/6 is like at least a little bit better, you know, obviously that's kind of nice too. Obviously 1/6 would be ideal, so that way you can just pull for the character and call it a day. But anyways, so the scaling on some of this stuff is kind of odd. The attack power, of course, is kind of like the basic, you know, thing that you would expect to go up whenever you know, get more ultimate levels. The ultimate will do more damage, so it goes from 350% of attack at 1/6, and it is an AoE ultimate, and it goes all the way up to 600% of attack. The attack-related stats that you get at 6/6 are 50%, so that's obviously a huge increase considering the 1/6 is only 10%. So, you know, that's obviously going to raise up your crit chance, crit damage, blah, blah, blah. It's going to make it hit a lot harder. So do take that into consideration as far as, like, the ultimate damage goes. I think that she's in this, like, kind of interesting middle ground where you put on this dark shield and she's a really good tank, but at the same time, if you can pull her combo off, she sort of is like a controller unit, so she's like putting, debuffs and actually, stopping the enemies from doing certain things, as well as doing good damage while doing that. So obviously it's going to be a little bit RNG on card draw, because after turn 1, like if you're using both cards turn 1 to just like fully embrace the passive, then you're going to have to pull either the both of the cards again to do the combo over to reapply your Dark Shield, which I don't know if it's like necessarily the biggest issue that you're gonna have to worry about. But pulling the first card, I can't remember the name of it, but this one right here, this is the one that actually gives you basic stats when you use it. So that is kind of like the most important part, maybe. I mean, the second card is the one that does the most damage, but if you're just trying to like build up, be tanky, then the first card is kind of like the ideal one as far as like, I guess, being supporty goes. I think the stat buff is only for her, by the way. She's not a very like give your teammates stats kind of character, but she is kind of like mitigating a lot of stuff for your team, so she is good in that regard. Effects on enemies. So it looks like at 1/6 through 3/6, you actually put mental breakdown, which is the lesser effect, onto the enemies whenever you use the ultimate here, which if you don't know, let me grab the Kane translations right fast. So let me move it over this way because I know my webcam's somewhere around here in the edit. But you can see mental breakdown is the one where minus 20% of attack-related stats, which is actually on both, but then effect is removed when damaged by an enemy or enemies at the enemy's turn, and when removed, seals single target or AoE attack skills for 1 turn. So, nothing too crazy, but, if you have her 4/6 through 6/6, it puts deepening mental breakdown on, which is going to stun the unit for 1 turn. And having that on all 3 units is actually kind of a big game changer, stunning all of them, kind of a big deal. So that is definitely a little bit more pay to win. Having her at least 4/6 would be nice, but like I said earlier, debuff for cleansing is only at is not at 1/6. It's on 2/6 and higher, which is okay. The Unity, a bit odd. There's a lot of weird things about this one. The fact that the defense-related stat decrease that you get from it, that's right, you do decrease your defense-related stats by 5% when using this Unity, does not scale at all. It's just 5% across the board. But at 1/6, the Unity is 8% attack-related stats, which is pretty good. It works on anybody, which is actually really nice. So you can actually use this on Escanor if you wanted, which is kind of nice because if you get her 3/6, you could put this on Escanor. You'd get the same effect that you would have on Roxy, but I don't think his stats can be decreased, so I'm actually not 100% sure on whether or not he's going to get that or not, because I don't know if it's like at the start of the battle or however that calculates, but I assume he wouldn't get the defense-related stat lower, and then he would gain the same attack-related stats that you'd have from a 6/6 Roxy link, and you'd be able to use Roxy as your backliner again. Like if you're using like a human team or something like that, you could throw Christmas Roxy in the backline because you're not using her as a link anymore. So that's actually pretty interesting. I think that could be kind of cool, having her for that regard. Not necessarily would I recommend you summon for a character just to use her as a link, but, that is definitely an option, I guess. But it goes all the way up to 13%, which I think is really weird. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just go for like a nice, well-rounded 15%, but I guess maybe in their testing, 15 was a little too strong. I have no idea. But yeah, it scales kind of all over the place. You kind of want her 2/6, you kind of want her 4/6. Obviously, this is a bad time for a festival. A lot of people are just skipping outright, so if you're planning on summoning, I would maybe just grab 1 copy, maybe finish the rotation, depending on how your summons are going, or maybe grab her 2/6 if you can get that in 1 rotation, and maybe stop there. I'm not 100% sure. Depends on your own account, of course. If you're a whale and stuff, you don't need me to tell you what to do. Just 6/6 the character. That's probably what you're going to do if you're a whale anyway, so just, you do you, bro. But anyways, the banner, probably the worst part about the festival in general. This banner is real bad. It does have a good amount of seasonal characters on here, which is kind of nice. Seasonal characters are not on a whole lot of banners, so being able to have the opportunity to grab some of these units is pretty good. Some of the other units on here are all right. You can grab some of the, the Ragnarok characters that are decent. I don't know. Most of these characters are pretty bad. If not, you've probably already gotten at least 1 copy, which is kind of all you need for some of these units, unless you're just going for like extra GP box CC stuff. Then I mean, dupes are nice, of course, but the festival lineup on this thing, not good. I even thought about, I was like, I wonder if it would be better for me to just do an extra rotation on Escanor instead, because the festival lineup is so much better on that banner. But the only thing that I'm really looking for in this banner is, I think, just LR Liz, because I think all of these festival characters are 6/6 except for Purgatory Meliodas, and he's pretty outdated unless they give him a Holy Relic or something. I don't personally need him, but hey, if you need any of these characters, hey, that's great for you. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I would really only be looking to try to pull Sabnak, or, you know, if I pull a copy of a character I don't actually have a, you know, a 6/6 ultimate on, that's a little bit of a win, but there's a lot of characters in here. I'm not actually expecting to pull LR Liz in this, or, you know, Purgatory Meliodas, because all of these units are the same rate, and there's a ton of characters in here. So, of course, it is a festival banner, so it's 900. Very unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that this one wasn't going to be a festival, but I guess with UR Gother all of a sudden being a spring festival, it was pretty much bound to happen. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I definitely don't think this is a must summon. I think, for the most part, if you're thinking about summoning, look at your unknown team. If you summoned for Festival Gother, the new spring festival, awesome Festival Gother, whatever they called that festival, he seems to be really, really good. UR Red Gother is actually really good with the character. Cleansing and stuff like that is fantastic. Ranking up, of course, is just, you know, phenomenal. Gother's not like the best unknown, you know, team character I've ever seen in my life, because he's really meant to be ran on the Sins. But I really want to use her with Hell. It seems like the general consensus for a lot of people is that Gother is the best unit to be ran with her. So if you don't have Gother, you know, maybe reconsider. But Fitoria was a new recent unknown collaboration character that came out. Phenomenal on release. Kind of got phased out really quickly because of Escanor's release and everything. And she's pretty much back in full force. Basically, all of the good like showcases and stuff like that I've been seeing on the character are using Fitoria. And if Sabnak is not like dominating the field, Fitoria is the one that's kind of just like you're using the taunt and everything from Sabnak to sort of stall for a turn. Turn 2, if you've crit with Sabnak's cards, which are probably going to, because she's a brand new character and her crit chance is really high, you're going to crit, you're going to get those stacks on Fitoria, you're going to use the Fitoria AoE turn 2, probably kill some people off. So she is like best partner of all time for this new character, I think, personally. From the looks of things, of course, I'm definitely going to test out the character in a lot of different teams, I would imagine. But if you don't have Fitoria, for one, because she's the really good, you know, DPS partner for the character, Gother for 2, because he's a really good support to help the character build up and everything, cleanse off anything if you need to. That's also kind of a big part of this thing. If you don't have the core of the team, probably not worth, you know, summoning and investing into currently. So that's just my 2 cents, of course. I mean, hey, I get it. It's a character, and it's a summer festival, and she's got a bikini on. I understand. If you're going to summon, you're going to summon. There's no stopping you. Do your thing. Best of luck. I hope your summons are great. But for me personally, and for most free-to-plays out there, I would say probably skip this thing. There's more than likely going to be a collaboration at the end of August. We pretty much know that from time slot stuff. So, you know, they've done it for the past like 2-3 years in a row. So I think it's a pretty safe bet. Not 100% sure. Some people were saying that there's another festival after this one. I would have to look at the timeline again, or like the banner schedule for the year. I'm sure that's probably not that outlandish to think of, because I mean, with these new, you know, seasonal characters being festival banners now, like, I mean, they're filling slots in between these festivals rather quickly. So they're almost back to back to back at this point. Kind of annoying in the sense that, like, you know, a lot of people don't have the gems for this. I get it. I completely do. I guess at the least, if it's for a team like the unknown team that you're not using, you're not that worried about it, you can be like, hey, I'm not an unknown user, I could skip this, just get the free rewards and the gems and stuff that they're giving out through the festival to sort of save up for the next one. Maybe it's okay in that regard, but it does kind of suck, you know, having to skip festival characters, because normally the festivals were supposed to be like these big momentous units that came out, but that's neither here nor there. Would I summon?
I would say most of you probably not. If you're already like willing to summon, go for it. Test your luck, see how you do. She definitely is seeming to make the unknown team like a top 3 team in the game right now. It's definitely the top 3 in no particular order, because I'd have to test them out and see how the meta sort of shifts a little bit, but it seems like it's going to be Sins, Humans, and Unknowns in the meta right now. So yeah, looking pretty interesting. I don't know. Maybe we'll see with the mid festival banner something change, or something. But as far as right now goes, she does seem pretty solid. I think that she actually looks like a pretty good unit. If you're on the fence at all, just wait. Just wait until the mid-festival banner comes out. See what that is. Most of the time, you can even wait till the very end of the festival. Like, just keep saving up those diamonds if you need to. Make sure that you can probably finish the whole rotation out just to be safe, because no one wants to summon on a banner in hopes of pulling before the 900. It doesn't happen, unfortunately, and then you're just stuck, and you can't finish the rotation out. You don't get the character. Your gems are wasted at that point. Something big comes out afterwards, because you're going to be able to see what the banner that comes out right after the festival ends, because it comes out 5 days early on JP. So you're not only going to be able to see the mid-festival banner, but the banner after the festival ends on JP before it ends on Global. So if you're a global player, you do have that luxury, so take advantage of it. So either way, that's it from me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the character, of course. I maybe yapped a little bit too long in this one, but that does happen sometimes. Very interesting, maybe controversial character release, so yeah, kind of a little bit too yap about maybe. But either way, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful in some ways, help you sway your opinion, maybe let you hold off at least for a little bit, because I don't think this is a unit you're going to want to just barrel straight into the banner for, but I don't know, she seems pretty cool. So thanks for watching, subscribe. I'll see you guys later tonight for the news.